While inflation has broadly averaged about 2.5% since 2001, college costs have risen much higher, an average of 4%. So many of you asked me to talk about college costs. Sorry it took this long. In this video, I will discuss how much a 4-year undergrad degree is expected to cost by the time your child is ready for college, the accounts you can use to save for college, and the types of vehicles available to save for college. Hi there, I'm Avanti. I'm a mom, an investment analyst, and a CFA charter holder. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow my Facebook page to learn how to build wealth through investing. Columbia University in New York is one of the most expensive places for education. To attend their undergrad program today, you would have to pay $65,000 in tuition and fees per year. The total cost of attendance, including other fees, living expenses, books, etc., is close to $86,000 a year. This cost has increased at an average annual rate of 4% since 2001. On the other hand, state universities have an average attendance cost of about $28,000 per year. And this cost has increased at an average annual rate of 5% since 2001. This data is crucial because we are going to make some projections. Let's compare an average private university with an average state university with discounted in-state tuition. Today's cost of attendance is about $55,000 at a private university versus $28,000 at a state school. The historical inflation rate is 4% at private universities versus 5% at state universities. If you or your child starts college today, a 4-year undergrad degree will cost about $33,000 at a private college versus $120,000 at a state college. If we assume the same rate of growth in the cost of attendance, I would expect college to cost $473,000 at a private university versus $290,000 at a public university in 18 years. Now, these are just projections, not guaranteed costs. Is going to a private school worth it? Well, that's a topic for my next video. If you plan to support your child or yourself and don't want to take out loans or don't want to rely on scholarships or aid, these are the amounts you need to save over this much time. Now let's look at what your options are for saving for college. The most important thing to do is start early. The earlier you start, the more time your money has to grow. Don't wait till you finish all your research and feel ready. The first option you should consider is a 529 plan, which is a tax-advantaged account designed explicitly for educational expenses. Some 529 plans offer prepaid plans, which I do not like. Let me know in the comments below if you want to know my reasons. I'm happy to elaborate, but I will not discuss prepaid plans in this video. All states offer at least one type of 529 plan. Some states offer a deduction up to a limit on contributions made to a 529 plan. For example, in Maryland, if you contribute to a 529 plan, you can deduct up to $2,500 per beneficiary per year. The same goes for your spouse. Your spouse can also contribute and get a state tax deduction. Also, if you make excess contributions, you can deduct them for up to the next 10 years. But note that if you move out of state and no longer file Maryland taxes, you cannot take the deduction. Keep that in mind before you start making excess contributions to your 529. This is specific to Maryland. Other states may have different rules. There are no contribution limits for 529 plans, but check the gift tax limit and the gift tax exclusion rule. Anybody can contribute to a 529 plan, parents, grandparents, friends, etc., and get the state tax benefit if their state offers it and if they file the taxes for that state. The most significant advantage of a 529 plan is that investments made within the plan grow tax-free. When you make withdrawals, you don't have to pay any taxes as long as the distributions are used for eligible qualified education expenses. This is an incentive for people living in states without state taxes. You need to file a form with your taxes to indicate how the distributions were used. If you use the distributions for anything other than qualified education expenses, you have to pay income taxes and a 10% penalty on the withdrawal. I will link what qualified education expenses are in the description. To summarize, when you contribute to a 529 plan, some states may offer a tax deduction up to a limit. The investments in the plan grow tax-free. And finally, when you take a distribution for qualified education expenses, those withdrawals are tax-free. Let's say your child doesn't need the money for qualified education expenses. In that case, you can change the beneficiary to another family member, such as a future grandchild, niece, nephew, or even yourself. With the Secure Act 2.0, you can also roll over unused funds from a 529 plan to a Roth account for the beneficiary up to a limit. I covered that in this video, so be sure to check that out. The next option is a UGMA or UTMA account. But before I talk about that, please show me some love by smashing that like button and share this video with one person who may benefit. And if you're new here, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any new videos. If you're watching me on Facebook, don't forget to follow my page. If you want to learn how to invest in the stock market, don't forget to watch this free course on the basics of stock market investing for beginners. Let's talk about UTMA, which is the Uniform Transfers to Minors Act, and UGMA, which is the Uniform Gifts to Minors Act. These are custodial accounts you can set up for your minor child. A parent controls the child. A parent controls the account, not the child, until the child reaches the age of majority, typically between 18 and 21 years. As soon as the child reaches the age of UTMA majority, the ownership and control of the account transfer to the child. Although a child can pay for college using UTMA or UGMA, this approach has no tax benefits. But this is an excellent option if you don't want your money locked up in a 529. This type of account also creates an opportunity to educate a child early about saving and investing. And hopefully, she will understand different asset mixes and how compounding helped her build wealth by the time she grows older. And that helps her become a financially responsible adult. Conversely, once she grows up and gains control of her account, she could lose all her savings on cars or parties or whatever she spends on. So it's imperative to teach kids about financial responsibility. I must share this note my daughter left on my desk the morning after a visit from the tooth fairy. It says, "Invest these dollars." Being in the investment field, I couldn't be prouder. All gifts from the tooth fairy, grandma, friends, etc. go to her UTMA account. Another option for college is to use Roth IRA distributions. If you don't know what Roth IRAs are, watch this video where I discuss them in detail. I also discussed how you could create a backdoor Roth account if you are above the income limit for a Roth IRA. Note that if you take a distribution from a Roth IRA before the age of 59 and a half, you must pay income taxes and a 10% early withdrawal penalty. This penalty is waived if the distribution is used for education. We discussed how much a 4-year undergrad education is expected to cost in the future. And we also talked about different accounts you can use to save for college. Now let's see how much you should contribute each month towards your college investment fund. I am assuming an annual rate of return of 7%. This table shows how much you need to invest each month depending on how long you have until your child goes to college. This first line indicates that as soon as your child is born, a monthly investment of $1,084 at 7% interest rate should get you to $473,000 in 18 years to cover the costs at a private university. And a monthly investment of $665 would get you to cover expenses at a public university. If instead you wait to start investing until your child is 5, you will have to save $1,830 every month for a private university and $1,123 for a public university. As you procrastinate, the amount you need to invest keeps going up, and the growth rate is not linear, it's exponential. What I'm trying to drive here is that if you plan to support your child's education, don't wait to invest. Start today. If you change your assumptions on the rate of return, the amount changes like this. Feel free to pause this video anytime to see how these monthly investment values change with the rate of return. But wait, if your child goes to college in the next 2 or 3 years, you shouldn't invest all the college money in the risky assets. The 7% return is not guaranteed. 1 year it could be 15%, but the following year it could be minus 20%. As you get closer to your target date, your college fund can't have a significant portion invested in risky assets. A safe investment choice is a low-cost target date fund or a combination of low-cost index funds. Cost consideration is necessary because high fees will affect your investment return, as discussed in this video. Also, if you plan to invest in multiple indexed funds, rebalance and de-risk your portfolio as you get closer to your horizon. I talked about rebalancing in this video. If your state's 529 plan doesn't offer low-cost funds, you can invest in other states' 529 plans. You may forego some of the tax benefits from your state if you choose to do so. Do some cost-benefit analysis before choosing another state or rolling over into a different state's plan from your current plan. There are also grants and scholarships available for students, so do take advantage of those as well. I do want to talk about elite institutions. I heard a high school senior comment, "If I don't get into an Ivy League college, I will have failed as a student." And I want to address that, but that will be in my next video, so stay tuned. Watch this video next, and if you found any of this information valuable, please like this video and share it with one person you want to help so we can all start investing in our family's futures. As always, don't forget to be happy, to be kind, and to be your best self. Bye.